Hi there. I am Allegra Stein, and I am here to share some ideas about coaching that I hope help you feel a little less stuck, a bit more creative and inspired in your own coaching practice. Today's question actually came from a member of the coaching community I run. It's called Misfit to Maverick. You can find more about it below. And this particular coach, it has recently been certified in a new framework. So they went through a particular certification program and learned this tool that they can bring into their coaching practice in service of the people that they're working with. They love the tool. They think it's great. They've seen and experienced a transformation for themselves, and now they're ready to take it out into the world. And they actually have a very specific audience that they want to work with, a community that they have been a part of. And they're like, all right, I want to take this now to the other people in this community to support them because it's helped me and I know it will help them. And they'd like to get paid for it. This is not just a hobby. This is, they want to be self-employed. They want to make money from their coaching, which is something I think many of us can understand. So they reached out to me and said, all right, Allegra, I'm wondering if you have any tips for how to craft my pitch. Because one thing about this particular coach is that they're very active about trying to get out there and talk to people. They've set up meetings. They have ideas for workshops that they could potentially offer to get in front of new people. But this question about well, how do I talk about my work, right? Pitch is a little bit of a buzzword. It can mean different things to different people. But when someone says well, how do I structure my pitch? It's a lot of things, what words do I use? How do I describe the value? And they said particularly, what words can I use? How can I describe the value of this tool that I now have that I would like to bring into these communities? My answer to that very generally is that you do not need to describe the value. That in fact, how you describe what your tool does, the language to do that is not going to come from you. It's going to come from people who have experienced your work. I like to say that your people will tell you everything that you need to know, and that includes what your coaching does for them. How has a particular tool helped them? Why was it valuable and worth their time and attention and resources? So I want you to imagine that your coaching is like a boat. Now, this dovetails with an idea that Tad Hargrave talks about a lot of times. I have learned it from him. But, your coaching is like a boat. And the client that you want to help is on an island, let's call it Island A, and wants to get to Island B. This is a very simple but very powerful metaphor to help you describe your work and to consider how you're positioning, what it is that you're doing. So you've got this boat and you're like, I want to help those people on that island get from there to there. And your frameworks, your tools, your experiences, all of the skills that you bring into your coaching, they're like different sails on your boat. So when someone says, hey, I was just certified in this tool, I think, all right, cool. You've got a new sail. You were trained in it. And now it's time to practice using it. So imagine you're now sitting in this bay, there's a dock, and you're like, how do I get people? Why is this sail so valuable? How do I describe how awesome this new sail is on my boat? And I think what most coaches tend to do is try and figure that out in isolation. We try and build it in our imaginations. We try and use our own language to describe this thing that we do. But you don't have to do that. I think that one of the best ways to demonstrate the value of the sail is to invite someone to get on your boat, to actually say to people, hey, do you want to try this thing with me? Use the language of experimentation, say I've learned this new thing. I'm looking for 5 people who want to try this thing out with me in exchange for feedback. Getting feedback from the very first minute is so important because they're going to tell you what's going on with them before they got on that boat. They're going to tell you what it was like when that sail went up. They're going to tell you what the results they experienced. They're going to tell you what the value of this new tool is through experience. So with that in mind, if you have a new framework that you've recently learned and you're sitting there going, gosh, okay, I want to pitch this to people. How do I describe what it does? Don't try and do that by yourself. Get out there and test it. Get out there as soon as possible and find a handful of people who will go through that experience with you and give you feedback all along the way, and then use their words and their reflections, not only to build your confidence about what it is that you're doing, but to then go on and describe it to the next person who's wondering what's so great about your boat. I hope this helps. I'd love your comments. Please share them down below. And if you are looking for a space, if you are a coach who is looking for a community where we are talking about these things all the time, and where I am offering weekly mentoring to coaches who have questions like this, check out Misfit to Maverick. More information below. Talk to you soon.